Welcome Knightline Live with your hosts Jerry Middleton and Rick Fletcher. Knightline Live is filmed in front of a studio audience. Welcome to Knightline Live. It's Monday night, 7 o'clock. I'm Jerry Middleton. With me tonight, as usual, is Rick Fletcher. And Rick, they just barely missed Tiny Bubbles. And I was singing well, too.
Hey, be happy, folks. Honest to goodness. Well, Jerry, Merry Christmas to you, because we got less than a week. Have you got your shopping done? That's the big question.
No, Rick, you know better than that.
You've heard of Amazon, right?
who?
Amazon. The mall is barely open now, so you got to find that Amazon app and go on there, and that's how you do your shopping. Well, welcome, another Knightline. Here we are live. You know, I'm sure Chad Dill is tuned in already. He's waiting to see what's going on.
Actually, Chad's announcing over at the freshman game.
Is he really?
Yeah, we'll get a score update on that when the game's over, if the Knights win. They're playing Monroe Central tonight.
All right, so we'll get to see that. All right, well, what do you say we get into it? This is our last show. We're going to have 2 weeks off for Christmas because the two old guys need a break.
The two old guys.
We're being run ragged around here.
Slowing down.
A lot. All right, here, we got to do this. We got to do NFL scores. Do we want the good or the bad first?
Well, let's do the good.
Let's do the good.
Because then it leads into the bad.
Hey, the very good are the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
They are on a roll, and, you know, I think they're quickly becoming, in my opinion, I think they're becoming one of the best teams in the league.
Well, the Bengals, the Bengals come in that game, they were down 17 as a 17-point comeback, which you think is pretty ominous.
Yeah.
However, there are other games that we'll discuss that was much bigger spread than that.
We'll get to that, and that's in the bad section. But no, the Bengals they were just like you say. You know, they were down 17-0, but they got a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, when you got a quarterback, they can bring you back, and that's exactly what they have. They have a franchise quarterback that can get them back in these games. And not only did they get them back in the game, they just ran right past the Buccaneers in the second half, and it was, you know, almost a piece of cake for the Bengals. So, you know, congratulations to them. They're now in first place in their division. They got a legitimate shot at being a number one seed.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll need Kansas City to lose once, and that's you want to try to get that number one seed because you get a bye while everybody else has to play. So Bengals won. You know, congratulations to them. I know there's some Bengals fans out there that are watching. The Bears,
losers.
The Bears got beat. You know, but they played a close game. I mean, they got beat by the Eagles. Eagles are 13-1, or they've only lost one game. You know, I'm not sold on the Eagles yet myself, but that's another story.
I agree with that.
But the Bears, I think they're 3-11. They're playing for next year. The Browns, they won. They beat the Baltimore Ravens.
That's a big deal for Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's a huge deal because that catapulted them above the Ravens. Now the Bengals are in the lead. So, and mathematically, they're still in the playoff hunt. The Browns are, which you know, there's a lot of teams 7-7, 8-6. You know, right in that. Mathematically. Well, another team, Jerry, is still mathematically alive, and that would be your Indianapolis Colts. But yes, they are. It
can't be.
They are mathematically. That's what I've been told. Now I can't see it.
When it goes down 33-0.
Yeah, you're thinking, hey, you're feeling pretty good about it, aren't you?
Well, you're feeling good until they kick that doggone field goal with about 4 seconds to go.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're sitting there going, how in the world did they lose a 33-point lead in just a matter of no time?
Well, you know, I'd like to say that was probably the worst thing that happened in the NFL, but I got to give it up to my team, the New England Patriots.
Yes.
First time I ever saw a team lose on the last play of the game on a backward pass by a wide receiver that was intercepted and taken the length.
I don't know if that's an interception or not.
Whatever they call it.
I wonder. It might be a fumble recovery. Who knows?
I don't know how they scored
But it
that.
was the doggonest thing I ever saw.
Doesn't matter what the stat says. The guy ended up in the end zone, and there were zeros on the clock.
Touchdown.
And I was stunned. I was literally stunned. But nobody cares about the Patriots around here. But just a little side note because of the Colts and how they just got, they were up 33-0. How do you lose? Honestly, all you got to do is, get a few first downs.
Yeah.
And,
just keep the clock running.
yeah, well, that was on top of just a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, 33-point quarter for the Cowboys against, and it's just these things that are happening. They got to be in rebuild mode. They're gonna have a new quarterback next year, probably a new coach. Heck, they might even have a new owner. Who knows? So anyway. All right, so that's the NFL. Hopefully your team's in there, and for some of us, it's wait till next year. Even though you're still mathematically alive for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
But why do that if you're going to lose? In the first game and go home. We got some wrestling news.
Wrestling from Newcastle.
Newcastle, they went to Newcastle. They really had some good results, Jerry. They were 4-1 on the day.
And the one loss was nothing more than a pin here and a pin there.
Well,
and it changes everything.
Well, they lost to Newcastle. That was their one loss, okay? Yeah. And I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the teams to know how good they are. I know Centerville's always been a good team, okay? But Newcastle was the only loss on the day. They lost to them 42-30. That sounds close, just like you said. But they beat Rossville, they beat Westdell, beat Muncie Central, beat Western Boone. Talk about close, 43-42.
The Weebos.
Yeah, well, 43-42. That's a close match.
Yes, it is.
And so, good for them. They went 4-1 in the day. I don't know what their total record, but we'll know more about that later. We're going to be talking about live streaming because we will be live streaming that. Congratulations to the wrestling team. There's everybody knows, to change the subject, still dealing with wrestling, everybody knows Heather Crow.
Yes.
Well, there's also another young lady from northern Indiana that's same age as Heather, same class, and she also went to states last year, the same thing Heather done. Her name is Juliana Ocampo. I believe they call her Jules. Okay?
Oh.
And I think her and Heather know each other.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
All right.
They've ran into each other at meets and stuff.
Sure they have. Well, there's a gentleman from Indianapolis who's putting together a documentary on because this is a great story.
Yes, it is.
And if you're a producer and you're doing video, what do? You put a documentary together.
Right.
And he's got a trailer out that will kind of introduce the story on these two young ladies. It's a little bit lengthy. It's almost 3.5 minutes, but we've got that right here. And so, Blake, let's go to that right now and take a look at that trailer.
I was 3 years old when I started. I was at practice watching my siblings wrestle, and it just looked fun at that age, I guess.
She took to it right away. I mean, it was right off the bat. You could tell she had what it takes immediately.
I was about 5 years old when I started wrestling.
She just kind of took off with wrestling, and she was a natural at it.
I said, look, I will support you 100%. But there are some things that you're going to have to deal with when it comes to girls wrestling. And I said there's people that aren't going to believe in it. They're not going to like it. There's referees that aren't going to like it.
When Heather used to wrestle Greco, we used to see a lot of boys that fathers would pull them out of the tournament so they didn't have to wrestle a girl.
There are some challenges, like thinking, oh, I'm just a girl, and they're going to beat me.
I joined this guy's sport because I was interested in it. I don't want boys to underestimate me, saying it's a girl, like I'm gonna go easy, and then if you beat them, then they take it as an excuse.
When I watch Heather wrestle, I always watch the boys, and I always watch them size her up and down. and smirk. And then as soon as they smirk, I see a light bulb go off in Heather's head. Like, all right, thanks for smirking. And that was her drive.
I'm coming up against a guy and then they beat me and they're like, you suck, like you shouldn't be on this mat. And some people could say, this is why girls don't wrestle.
Heather is very determined. A few years ago, she told me that her goal was go to state. And I had no doubt in my mind that she would do that. And I had no doubt in my mind she'd make it this year.
Winning the match and seeing all these people cheer me on and like knowing that I'm a girl and made it to state, it just like made me really happy and I was excited about it.
Obviously, when she punched her ticket, the entire gymnasium erupted. I think I told her, I said, listen, it's for you.
But then I got my phone and I texted her. I was like, how'd it go? And she was like, I made it. I was like, let's go. I was like, we both made it.
When I heard that she made it, I was pretty exciting because previously we had talked about going to state together and being two girls who both go to state.
On mat 3 from Crown Point High School, Damage Andreas. And from New Haven, Juliana Otempo. From Avon High School, Luke Rio. And from Northeastern High School, Heather Crow.
Welcome back to Knightline Live. Rick, what a neat idea of this gentleman doing this documentary.
Well, it's fantastic. This is a great story, Jerry. You know how we were last year with Heather.
Yeah.
Going to the state, being a female against the guys, and it was just a great story. And this is going to be great. This is going to be roughly a 30-minute documentary, and the gentleman's name is Aaron Phillips of Indianapolis. I don't know the name of his company, okay, but he's going to do this, and you'll be able to see that. He'll post it somewhere where everybody can see it. I don't think you'll have to buy it. Or
maybe
anything.
that will come out at what is it? What's the big screen? The Cinemax out at the AMC theater.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, Hoosiers did that. So
yeah.
Who knows?
So this will be a great story.
Yes, it will be.
I mean, these girls are freshmen. They know each other. They run into each other at meets probably. They wrestle. Heather wrestles a lot out of season. I'm sure this young lady does too.
I'm sure.
So, and that's at New Haven High School. That's where she's from, right? My executive producer Blake Hampton is confirming that for us. He's been on the phone, getting that confirmation for us. So we appreciate Blake. Just to remind everybody, Wednesday night we're going to be live streaming our first meet for the year.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't watched a wrestling meet, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fast too.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and I think wrestling was made for for broadcasting.
Well, I do too.
Because you can get right up there almost on the edge of the mat and get good camera shots. So we'll be looking forward to that. That's going to be Wednesday night at 6:30. Will be the start time. We'll go on the air about 6:20, something like that.
And who's going to be with you that night?
Well, Dwayne White.
Oh, great. Dan Dwayne is a aficionado on wrestling.
He knows everything about wrestling, and I'll be with him, but he'll be doing most of the talking, okay? Because you won't be able to learn a thing from me. You're going to learn a lot from Dwayne.
Yeah.
So that's the first home meet for them, and we're going to be live streaming that, and we're going to look forward to it.
Absolutely.
So, all right, I think we're going to go to commercials, Jerry.
Ooh.
And when we come back, we're going to talk bowling.
Oh.
We do have a bowling team.
Well, yes, we do. And I'll tell you my bowling story when we get back.
Oh, I can't wait. We're
that's a
looking
great
forward. All right, this is Knightline. We'll be back after these messages.
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. That fear is the only enemy, the only thing keeping you from feeling that power in your bones. And here we are, right here, right now. Let's fly.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
KOA exit 151A, registration in the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin. Relax at one of the fire pits or picnic by the pond. A playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip. At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
Coming together every day to make a difference for you, for me, and everyone in between. Because at Dot Foods, when we celebrate each other's differences and work together to make the community a better place, we become great together. At Dot Foods, what matters to you matters to us, where communities matter. Dot Foods.
Dreaming of having more space? With a mortgage from First Financial, you're golden. We keep things simple with friendly, personalized service from application to closing. We'll help you find the right mortgage loan to fit your unique needs. Plus, you can qualify for relationship pricing with an eligible checking account. And since we live in the communities we serve, you can count on our local knowledge to make sure the pieces fall into place for an on-time closing. So stop dreaming and start moving with First Financial Bank.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and our guest right now is Jacob Roth, a junior on the Northeastern bowling team. And Jacob, I just want to let you know, I bowled a 301 once.
I don't think that's possible. But
well, Jacob, let me tell you, you cannot roll a 300 and lose, dude.
No, you can't. I mean, you can tie, but you can't lose.
That's right.
All right, moving on to the serious stuff.
That was serious. That was some serious stuff. Earl Anthony and all those guys. I'm the right-handed Earl Anthony.
All right, Jacob. Well, we appreciate you coming. We've been making an effort to try to get at least one of you guys on, and we thank you for coming. Jerry and I know nothing about the bowling team, all right? So we're hoping over the next 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to tell us and educate us on bowling and that type of thing, okay?
I will.
All right. So, Jacob, how did you get started in bowling and on the bowling team? Just give us a little quick synopsis there.
So I started bowling because my family, on my dad's side, has always been into that sport. And I started high school bowling once. We had a few middle school meets, but we never had a middle school team. And then freshman year, I tried out for the team, made the team, and I've been on the starting rotation ever since then.
So this is at our school. This is a club sport, right?
Yeah.
But it's a sport, really. I mean, you guys go and you compete.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy? Do you like the competition? Like when you get to the bowling alley? Or, I mean, is it serious stuff here? Or?
Some schools, if you know your opponents outside of the bowling alley, it's a little more competitive. Like when we play Richmond, that's probably our most competitive because that's who we practice with. and there's a little bit of trash talk here and there, but we're all family outside of bowling. So
It's all for fun, right?
yeah.
So are you now? I admit, I watch the PBA.
Okay.
It's usually it's like on like 11 o'clock
Yeah,
at
I
night.
was
It's
gonna
late.
say.
I'll watch it for a little bit. Now, are you right-handed?
Yes, sir.
You throw the big hook?
Not really, but I mean, I just let the ball do its work, go down the lane, and hit right in the pocket.
Now, I also see this now. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not, Rick, but two-handed. They go
I did-
two-handed
I did,
and do
yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how in the world are you doing that?
Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, we got 2 out of our 5 guys are two-handed bowlers.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan Michaels and Ian Hersey, they're both two-handed, and me, Cam, and Aiden, we're all one-handed.
All right.
That's I used to bowl like this.
Yeah.
Two-handed.
So I'm here. I'm going to ask you a question. You might not know the answer. What's the idea behind two-handed bowling? What does it? What do they say it does for you?
It's just more support on your hands, so you can balance it better. Because you still use your non-dominant hand if you're a one-handed bowler, but when you go to release the ball, you only use one hand. And the difference between one and two-handed bowlers is if you're a two-handed bowler, you don't have a thumb insert.
Okay.
So you only use your 2 fingers. And then you take the ball, and then you just roll it down the lane, and you put a little bit more of a hook on it, too.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some they're like this.
Boy,
Oh,
this is technical. I mean, this is really, we're getting into some technical stuff. So let me get into some, let me ask you a couple just basic questions. How often do you practice, and where do you guys practice around here?
Our home court is 40 Bowl in Richmond,
Okay.
and we practice twice a week, typically on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, and how often do you go to have meets?
The first half of the season was anytime throughout the week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and most of our matches typically are on Saturdays.
All right. So I saw a schedule, not a schedule, but a standings, and you guys are up there pretty well. So how is your team doing?
Compared to the last few years, this has been a really great season for us. We came in 6-1 before going to the conference championship last Saturday at Legend Lanes.
Yeah.
And we fell short against Richmond, who was also 6-1. So now we're 6-2 and they're 7-1.
All right. So you're in second place, and how much more season do you have left?
We have one more match. It's a team event at 8 a.m. on January the 14th.
Okay.
And then singles where you yourself bowl to see where you can qualify for regionals later that day.
All right. Wow. Okay. So there's a playoff system that you
To
got.
see where your team ranks in the state of Indiana and to see where you as an individual ranks in the state of Indiana.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a personal question. You guys keep your averages, your average score. What's a typical average score for like a bowlers on our team?
I'd say the median is about 190.
Okay.
Between the 5 of us.
All right. And so there are 5, right? A typical bowling team, you have 5 bowlers, right? That's what we call them, bowlers, players, or what do we?
Just whatever you want to
whatever
call it.
we want to call them. Okay. We don't know anything. We're relying on you to educate us. So the scoring in a match goes just total pins. Is that how that works, or total scores? Or?
Total pins. So you have your 5 bowlers.
Yeah.
Another school has their 5 bowlers.
Yeah.
And then out of both games combined is whoever has the most points. And you also play the player that you're playing against. If you're in the 3rd spot, you play their 3rd player.
Okay.
So you can beat their player by 1 pin, get your point. But then another player beats one of your guys by 50 points, they still get the total pins.
I got you. Okay, so it's not how many pins you got. There's this other thing that you just described.
because you play your opponent, and it's also by team pins as well.
So what happens if you have a tie?
It goes by total pins across their team.
So let's say that it's a tie all the way down. All 5 of you just tie. Do we have sudden death?
Or do we never heard or never seen anything come to that point. But if it were to come to that, we would do a roll off where both teams take their best bowler or bowler of choice, and just like a game of horse, you just bowl strikes till you get no strikes.
Which I saw that on the PBA.
Yeah,
that's what they did. They went to a roll off. I get a 9. And you get a strike, it's over. You get a 9, and I get a 9, and then we go to another frame.
Okay.
And it just keeps going.
It's like penalty kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, like we just saw in the World Cup. You had penalty kicks, except you're bowling. All right, you've been bowling since you're a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And you say this year your team is as good as it's been since you've been there? Or?
Yes.
All right, so who are your teammates?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us who they are.
Cam Dayton, who is a junior. Ian Hersey, who's also a junior. We have a sophomore, Aiden Leddington, and we have one senior, Jonathan Michaels.
Okay. And you enjoy it. I mean, obviously I can tell you're pretty knowledgeable. I'm learning a lot from you right now, Jacob. I have to tell you that. Because I don't know a thing about bowling. Okay?
Oh yeah, like you mentioned earlier, you haven't bowled in 13 years. So I think you might be a little rusty if you came out and bowled.
And you've got to accentuate that and tell them it was with bumpers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We don't want them to get out of the real bumpers.
Oh yeah, we don't use bumpers, but I mean you might need some.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, I'm seconding that motion. I would definitely want the bumpers. So So I'll be in one lane with the bumpers, and you can be in the other lane. We'll see how we do.
What kind of ball do you use? I know there's like Storm, Ebonites.
For my strike ball, my preference is a Motive Jackal Legacy, which is one of the most aggressive balls out there. So when you roll it, it has a real nice hook to it. And I use a Burnswick. I forget the model, but it's Burnswick for my spare ball.
Now, in talking about using different balls on that, what weight are you rolling? Are both of them the same weight, or one heavier than the other?
My strike ball is a 15, my spare is a 16.
Really? Now, is there any special reason why the spare ball is heavier than your strike ball?
I was gifted my strike ball.
There you go.
So, but I don't like to have my ball really heavy. So it's just so I can put more speed behind it. So it's just not 8 pounds, but it's not all the way to the 16.
Right.
It's just like a shade of a pound off, so I could put more force behind it, and then it can go in the pocket a lot easier.
I didn't even realize that they used 2 different balls.
I didn't. Well, I'll tell you, it sounds like you put some thought into this. You just didn't go to the rack and pull a ball off the rack. I mean,
oh no.
It's important to you as far as being a bowler.
Mm-hmm.
Your ball. And what are some things when you look for a ball? Is it like the feel of your hand, how it fits, or can you get it fitted to your hand?
Every ball is custom fitted if you buy a bowling ball. A lot of guys prefer different brands, different models. I'm a Motive guy, so I just prefer Motive. 2 of our guys prefer Storm, and my teammate Cam, he's probably got 26, 30 bowling balls.
Oh my goodness. Does he have an alley?
No.
No alley.
No, he just likes to see which ball he prefers the most.
Now, would he use a different ball in different meat, or does he try to stick with the same one?
So, Newcastle and Richmond both have synthetic wood lanes.
Okay.
Legend lanes and Rushville both have actual wood lanes.
Okay, so that makes a difference then.
Yes, it does.
All right.
And different oil patterns. There's a lot of factors that go into the meets. When you practice, you get 10 minutes of practice before each meet. That's when you find what ball you want to use that day.
Wow. There's a lot that goes into that. Really.
I was going to ask you about the oil. Do they let you know what the oil pattern is if it starts 15 feet down the lane? And
no.
I know watching the PBA, they talk about that all the time, the oil pattern.
Oh yeah, it's usually about the same 2 to 3 patterns for regular high school meets, but we won't know till we get there.
Yeah.
So we just bring what we want to bring that day, and we find out once we get there. But we usually have a good idea what pattern they're going to use.
Now, do you bowl on like in a league outside of school, like on a team, like in your family? You said your family bowls. So.
Yes, I bowl a youth league for Saturday mornings at Richmond 40 Bowl.
All right, and is that during the season you're doing that too, or after
Yeah.
the season? All right.
The meets for high school is the same time as the league, so like this whole season, I haven't been able to get out there and bowl on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
So I usually just make up either before or after that Saturday, and yeah.
All right.
Cool.
There's a lot to it, Jared. I think
Well,
we, like all the guys that we bring on from these sports
Yeah.
that we don't know, we could be here for another hour and still not
there's a
know
lot
everything.
of good stuff. And you know what? And the thing is, this is another avenue. Excuse me. For the kids to be able to do something, physical
Absolutely.
activity,
Yeah.
and stuff they can do the rest of their life.
Yeah, bowling's kind of like golf. You can do it when you're two old guys like us. You
Yep.
can. There's a lot of guys. I'm in our. Well, I'm not going to say how old we are, but we're old. Okay, they're still bowling, and so all right. Well, Jacob, we appreciate you coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And again, we might have to have you back, and maybe you can bring a friend or bring a coach, because there's a lot more where I think we just scratched the surface.
We
here
didn't
today.
mention the coaches.
Yeah, coaches. Who are your coaches?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Brian Woosner, he's the head coach, and he's been with us since 2013. And our assistant coach is it's his first year, and his name is Jeff Dayton.
Yeah, and I have to tell everybody, Jeff is bowling tonight, probably in his league.
Yes, he is.
And he couldn't be here, so that's one of the reasons why he's not here.
Yeah.
All right, so Jacob Roth, everybody. Jacob, thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming. So you had a senior day in your last meet, and your senior is Jonathan Michaels, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, one of your people over there was able to take a video of that. We appreciate that. So before we go to commercial at the end of this section right here, we're going to go to that and see senior day for Jonathan Michaels. Let's roll it.
He is the son of Matt and Michelle Michaels. He's had 4 years of bowling and 4 years of golf.
There you go.
His plans after school, he just wants to get a good paying job.
I thought he was going to say sleep.
His most memorable moment, the last year is and will be my most memorable moment. I would like to give thanks to my coaches, Ryan and Jeff. Your Northeastern senior, Jonathan Michaels.
Do you need assistance and you don't know where to turn? We can help. From fixing meals, medicine reminders, personal hygiene, rides to appointments, someone to talk to, and much more. Guardian at Home Servicing, all of Wayne County. All you really want is for your loved ones to enjoy life. Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
With Local BTV, it's easier than ever to view all that WCTV offers.
I can now stream local government meetings direct to my TV.
Now I can watch local programming right from my phone.
I can easily view recorded and live events on my computer.
With a few clicks on any device, you're ready to view WGTV Channel 11, WETV Channel 20, and WCTV Channel 21. With Local BTV, you're able to stay entertained and informed.
Hey there, my name is Gibson, and I would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students. That's our youth group at LifeSpring Church, which is just south of Northeastern on 27, and we meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. It's a great way to get to know more about God, meet some friends, as well as get to know about yourself some more as well. Plus, it's a lot of fun. We usually have some basketball and dodgeball, along with some other activities. And if you want to know more, check out lifespring.tv/students.
Welcome back to Northeastern, to Knightline Live. And Rick, we forgot our Subway coupon for...
We'll have to make sure Jacob gets his Subway for being our guest. Subways are one of our gold level sponsors, and we appreciate all they do. And so we'll make sure that Jacob gets that sub. He doesn't fall under the IHSAA rules.
Nope, he does not.
All right, so for that, he gets a Subway.
That's right, and that's a lucky guy.
But boy, we could have stayed for an hour, Jerry, really, to talk about bowling, because there's a lot of questions I wanted to ask that we just don't have enough time.
Very interesting.
It's great. So we'll have to have these guys back and learn more about what they do. So on Saturday, I was at an archery event. Okay, it's what I'm going to call an intra-squad scrimmage. It's the best way I can describe it. And what it was, the coaches set up what a normal archery meet would look like. He did it for the kids because there's new kids. They have 71 kids between middle school and high school. 71 shooters. And that's a lot. That's a huge amount. And I'll tell you what, Coach Brian Richmond, I was watching all the coaches. They run a smooth, tight ship.
Well, and you got to.
Yeah.
I mean, with what's going on, you've got to have rules, and they've got to be followed.
And watching the kids, they were all respectful. They did what they were supposed to do. When you got weapons, basically you're dealing with weapons. You got to be careful. So there's reasons why they have protocols. So we have a sights and sounds segment here for archery.
Well, will our executive producer be in there at all?
You'll probably see him in there because Blake is
probably
an archer.
bullseye.
There was a lot of them. I took a couple of shots of some targets.
Did you shoot?
Absolutely not.
Oh my goodness!
Absolutely no. I wasn't going to embarrass myself. They probably would have let me.
I'm sure they would have.
But no, I was watching these kids shoot, and I figured I was just going to take a pass on that. But I did get a lot of video, and it was a real good crowd there too.
Good.
And it's really well run and very organized, the way they set that up. So, and at the end of this video, I did happen to had a chance to chat with a couple of seniors, Jacob Bennett and Chase Cates.
Yep.
And a couple guys. Jacob was in band, so we know him from summer band, and Chase cross country. So we all know Chase. So let's go to the sights and sounds of... What do we call it? Archery meets, I guess?
Archery meet.
Archery meet, what I'm calling the inter-squad scrimmage.
There we go.
Let's roll that.
It's not touching my leg. Okay.
We're here at Northeastern High School, and we just witnessed, or I just witnessed for the first time, an archery event. It's really fascinating. If you've never been, you ought to get there. I'm here with Jacob Bennett and Chase Cates, 2 seniors on the archery team. So, Jacob, I want to ask you first, how did you get an interest in archery? You've been doing it for a while. Tell me about that.
So, archery for me has I was in 6th grade. I had nothing to do with my time. I just sat at home all the time. So, I heard that, Brian was starting an archery club, and I went to the meeting, just heard about it, and it was fascinating to me because I always saw archery in movies and TV shows and things like that. So I was like, oh, that's something cool that I wanted to do. So I started in 6th grade. I went to every practice, and I've been doing it for 7 years now. And
That's a long time. Yeah. Inspiring story, I want to tell you. Chase, how about you? I've seen some Facebook. Your mom likes to put stuff on Facebook. You probably know that. Yeah. And I've seen you out there with a bow and hunting deer. Is that how you get an interest, or tell us about it?
Yeah, I've always hunted with my dad, and probably started bow hunting like 6th or 7th grade. And then I stopped playing basketball, so I was like, I could try archery, and that's pretty much how I started. So, yeah.
All right, so it looks like you guys have a lot of fun. All right, is that true? All right, so you're also in band, right?
Yep.
All right, so you're a band member, and Chase, you run cross country and track, all right? So I heard you're going to school. Where are you going to school?
I'm going to Indiana Wesleyan.
You going to run cross country and track?
Yeah, I'm going to run.
Jacob, how about you? Are you going to college, or have you decided your future yet?
Right now I'm between going to college and going to culinary school.
Okay.
I haven't decided yet.
Wow, that's an interesting choice. So good for you. All right, fellas, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Hey, Merry Christmas, okay, both of you guys, and hopefully we'll get to see you again. All right, that's Jacob Bennett and Chase Cates, 2 guys we've seen before in band and cross country, but now we're here in archery. Back to you guys in the studio.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and Rick, that just makes me just want to grab my bow and arrow. But it's what a fun thing for them. And
great.
Again, just like the bowling, this is a great thing for these young kids to be doing.
You got 70 kids doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm assuming looked like probably at least half of those were high school kids.
Yeah.
That's a huge event.
Well, that's great. I'm happy to see that.
And I was watching the coaches, and they run, like I said, Jerry, they run a nice, tight ship. They get these kids. Everybody's cooperating. It's really, really fantastic. So if you get a chance, I think they have some home meets, so you have a chance to go see them. It's really interesting. It's pretty simple how they score. They have a bullseye, and then, on out from there. So good luck to the Archers. We'll be hearing from them, I'm sure, before the season's over. All right, let's talk some boys basketball.
Basketball.
All right.
Traveled to Shenandoah, right?
Shenandoah, you know what the history was. Finally, last year, they were able to get over that hump, okay? And this year they went up to Shenandoah. And I'll tell you this, Shenandoah is a young team. They started three freshmen, but those guys are going to be very good, probably come sectional time, all right, because they are a sectional opponent. And I got to give it up to our team because we played well, Jerry.
Yes.
It was really good to see. You had give a welcome back to Grant Luby. After those couple games against Greenfield Central and Eastern Hancock, 2 teams that play pretty similar style, and pretty much gave us a whole lot of fits to come out and just kind of make a statement. You got to come out and make a statement. And I think the guys, they went out there and they played well. Started slowly, all right, but really second quarter on, they put the foot down. Shenandoah tried to make a run at the end, but it wasn't to be. We were hitting our free throws down the end, especially Keaton Mikesell again.
They said he's only missed one free throw all season.
Well, and he's hitting them in crunch time too.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, so when you're hitting them in the fourth quarter, as a team is trying to come back, that's when they're important, most important. So, congratulations to those guys. We had an opportunity to chat with a couple of the players. Grant Luby, like I said, Grant had a great game. That was great to see because he's a guy we're going to depend on him.
You're right.
And he's got to be at his best when we're battling for the conference championships and battling for sectionals and onward. So we really need Grant to be that player that we know he can be. And Friday night, he was that player.
Oh, good.
And Keaton Mikesell had a great game. You had Carson Terrell's a beast under the boards, as he always is. And then you get contributions from others, like Michael Henry had a 3.
Yep.
And that's what it's going to be with this team. You have your 5 seniors and a lot of contributions from the other players. Wes Hunt, is going to be, he'll start sometimes or come off the bench.
Right.
So it's going to take all 8 or 9 that they play. Landon Scoretti plays a little bit. He plays JV mostly, but he does get in on varsity. So
that's part of the law firm.
Yeah, part of the Scoretti and Scoretti. So we had a chance after the ball game. We did chat with Grant and Keaton Mikesell, Grant Luby and Keaton Mikesell. So let's go to that and see what these guys had to say. All right, we're here at Shenandoah where the Knights just defeated the Raiders 55-41. I'm here with seniors Grant Luby and Keaton Mikesell. Grant, we kind of started slowly. That's been the theme this year, but second quarter we kind of put it in gear, and from there on it was just controlling the ball game.
Yeah, obviously we've been starting out slow, but it helps when we just run up and down the floor every day at practice, and then when we come out here, they can't really hang with us, and no team has the conditioning we have.
Yeah. Hey, Keaton, these guys are a sectional opponent, all right? Does that give us extra juice when we come into their gym? And the sectional's right here, so tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, we practiced hard this whole week, and we knew we had to come in and play hard. I mean, we knew they're probably a sectional opponent, our biggest threat, so we knew we had to come in and take care of business.
Were you guys hoping to send a message? Is that what kind of something like that?
Yeah.
All right, Keaton, you also hit your free throws in the end there. We were kind of struggling at the free throw line, but when they counted, you put them in. So.
Yeah, I worked pretty hard on my free throws, and Coach Ross always says they're free. So when you get up there, you got to take advantage of it and knock them down.
All right, not much rest for you guys because you got a ball game next week, then a big tournament coming up. So Merry Christmas to both of you guys.
Thank you.
All right, the Knights win 55-41. They go to 4-2 on the season. Back to you guys in the studio.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and Rick, a breaking news story just came in. The Knights freshman team fall to Monroe Central Bears 39-33.
All right. Do you know what their record is now?
I have no idea.
All right. I don't either.
I think they're maybe like 2-3 or something like that.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah. I know they have a 10-game schedule.
Yeah.
So we don't know where they're at in that schedule. But all right. Well, what do you say? Get them next year, right? Or get them next time.
Get them next week.
They'll have more games.
Yeah.
So what's ahead for the guys? Big game, big team coming in on Thursday night for them.
The Anderson Indians leave the wigwam and come to Larry Moore Gymnasium on our campus.
Well, that's a good get. I mean, to get
gosh.
schedule a game like that and get them to come here. I mean, that's big.
Yeah.
Really.
Now this is just a 1-year deal.
Yeah. Okay.
They just come here this 1 year because they needed a game. We needed a game. And it sort of just worked out. So that's huge. And we'll be live streaming that.
Yeah.
If you can't make it to the game, we always want you at the game.
Be at the game.
And I believe it will be myself and Mark Kirkhoff on the call of that game.
Correct, yeah.
Providing that I'm not on my deathbed.
We will resurrect Jerry. Trust me.
Good Lord.
But that'll be a lot going on that night, Jerry. Also, I think Tyler Smith. He'll be honored on that night.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, Tyler Smith. I think they're retiring his jersey, or there's some kind of activity going on. So you'll have to get him on an interview at halftime.
Yes.
So you guys, I'll put that plug in for that right there. So Anderson, a 4A school, coming to the cornfields of Fountain City. They're bringing their team down here. It's always good that our guys get to play those bigger schools. We've seen Warren Central come in couple times. First time they came in, they blew us out. Last year it was a 3-point ball game right at the end. So I think the guys, they relish these opportunities. They want to play these bigger schools. So that's going to be Thursday night. We'll be broadcasting, but get in the gym and watch the broadcast later. That's what I got to say about that.
And now we're going to move to girls basketball?
Well, we're going to go to break first.
Oh, we're going to do a commercial?
Yeah, little reminder, next week there is a Christmas tournament here.
Yes.
And that's all day starting at 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, the 27th. And 4 games on Wednesday, the 28th, starting, I believe, start time for that will be 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock, I believe it is.
1 o'clock,
yeah,
okay.
1, 3, 5, yeah.
Check the schedule, but we'll... And we're going to be live streaming every one of those ball games.
And you can go on the top of the tab, and click on the little icon, whatever it is, and get the games.
Yeah, off of. It's 2 o'clock. Our executive producer's been on it. He's doing his homework right now.
Well, we're paying him way too much. I'm telling you, too much, Rick.
So that's 2 o'clock on the second day. That would be next Wednesday. So, anyways, if you want to watch basketball, we got some good teams coming in.
Oh yeah.
So come on down. The Knights play noontime. First game would be noontime. They'll play Blackford on Tuesday at noon.
Yeah.
Or whenever that is, whenever the other games get done. So look forward to that. So get there and watch the guys and get there Thursday night. So we're going to go to commercials, Jerry. We're going to hear from our gold level sponsors. And this is Knightline, and we will be back after these messages.
You've had a hard day at work, and all you want to do is sit in your lounge chair in the nice cool air? Then it hits. The AC's not working. The living room feels like the Sahara Desert. Call Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. In just a short time, it'll be nice and cool. And then all you'll need is a sign that says, "No penguins allowed." Call 765-966-0994. Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Proud sponsors of the Knights. Did someone say boom, baby? Call Scaretti Pyrotechnics at 765-977-2757. Scaretti Pyrotechnics has performances for birthdays, weddings, school athletic events, other occasions, and of course, the 4th of July. Scaretti Pyrotechnics are proud supporters of Knights Athletics. Boom, baby! Smith, McQuiston, and Webster Funeral Home has proudly served the Fountain City area since 1886. From the time you walk up the steps, Funeral Director Keith Webster's goal is to carry forward the legacy of personal service established by the Smith and McQuiston families. Using modern technology and good old-fashioned attention to detail, we will strive to earn your confidence in us by treating families the way we think we would want to be treated. Smith, McQuiston, Webster Funeral Home. Rick, thank goodness somebody called timeout because I am hungry.
I'm starved, Jerry. Hey, with 3 different Richmond locations and 1 in Hagerstown, there's a Subway sandwich shop near you.
And you can always order off the app for curbside pickup. The drive-thru's always open, and the way that I prefer it, I just like to walk in.
Here's your sub.
Let's Subway. Eat fresh.
Go Knights!
It's a whole new way to watch the WCTV family of stations. Live, local broadcast television anytime on any device, including your phone, computer, or television. Whether you're on the couch or on the go, simply launch the local BTV app and you'll instantly be able to watch all 3 of our channels, WCTV, WETV, and WGTV. Go to localbtv.com or download the free Local BTV app for your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. Watch what's happening in our community on Whitewater Community Television.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and now we're saving, well, I don't know if we can say the best for last, but it's really good.
It's been
girls basketball.
It's been real good. The girls, the young Lady Knights are on a 5-game winning streak. Jerry, last week they had a conference game down in Hagerstown. Easily handled Hagerstown.
Yes.
Hagerstown's a building team.
Yeah.
So they won that pretty handily. But Yorktown, a 3A school, came to town on Saturday morning. Very unusual time, by the way.
Well, and we all know why. Because we couldn't get our hair done in time for the for the dance that night.
Yeah, that's exactly why it was.
It didn't take me that long. Just saying.
And I know Coach Chad Kircher did bring the donuts, by the way.
They were good too, by the way.
So we're going to give credit to Chad, bringing the donuts. Really, that Yorktown game, now they're a pretty good team.
I think you're a really good team.
Coached by a good coach.
Yep.
She was at Monroe Central.
Leanne Barger.
Yeah, and they handed us our heads every time we went to play them when she was coach. But I will say, the Lady Knights came out strong, and they're really starting to play like a team. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with that, because you start looking, there was a lot of steals out high that somebody stole the ball. Instead of just going, they pushed the ball ahead to somebody else who was more open than they were.
Yeah.
And created havoc for Yorktown early in the game.
Yeah, and that's a trend we're seeing. That's what they want to do. They want to get out there on the gallop, I call it, you know, and move the ball quickly, because they've got some players that can run the floor. You got Justice Slick and Ava Mikesell and Addie Kircher.
Yep.
They can all run the floor. Even you got Addie Mastriano can run the floor for a big. She can run the floor well.
I thought Cammie Angie had a good ball game.
Cammie, yeah, she's really starting to play a lot on the varsity side. So it was a good game. Knights got out to a pretty good size lead the first quarter. They let them back in.
Just like the Colts.
Yeah, let them back in, but
it was a 1-point ball game.
Yeah, at one time.
With 4 minutes, I think 4 or 3 minutes to go in the game, it was 1.
Yeah, so Yorktown came back.
Yes.
But they were able to put some points up at the end, toward the end. So
they were shooting some threes.
Yeah.
Banking them in. I think they had 3 bank threes in that start of that quarter to the 4-minute mark. I mean, you're like, yo, really? You're going to shoot bank shots on us now?
Yeah.
So,
but the Lady Knights held on. I really felt that, to me at least, it wasn't. I didn't feel like there was a danger of losing, although they could have lost the game. But credit to the Lady Knights. They really hung in there, and they played tough at the end, and they made their shots that they had to end up with a 5-point win. And congratulations to them.
Well, they made some smart plays down the end. I think earlier in the year, those plays would not have happened. They would have taken that extra dribble, that extra step, and now they're creating distance with their opponents by stopping early, not driving in, and
you're starting to see some good things.
Well, I'm seeing some great things. I was in that last 3 minutes. I was like, you know what? I said, they're playing pretty good basketball right now.
They absolutely are. We saw that at South Adams, same kind of thing. And so hopefully they'll continue to build on that. So we had a chance to talk to some of the girls. We had a chance after the Hagerstown game talk to Cameron McFarland and Cammie Angie. And because we live streamed the Saturday game, Addie Kircher, and she's scoring now.
Yeah.
I mean, Addie's doing a great job as only a freshman. So hopefully she's even going to get better as time goes on. She was our Subway player of the game. So, I got to tell a little story. As I was videotaping that interview, it was my partner for the day was Anna Drake. Okay, and Anna was conducting that interview on the live stream for the Subway Player of the Game. And by golly, I didn't hit the record button until about halfway through. But we're going to run it anyways. Hey, we're just a couple amateurs trying to do the best we can. So let's go to those. Looking at my executive producer, Blake Hampton. And let's go to those and see what the girls had to say. We're here at Hagerstown where the Lady Knights just defeated the Tigers 57-14 in a TEC match. I'm here with senior Cameron McFarland and sophomore Cammie Angie. Cameron, let me ask you, it seems like our team is really starting to come together and flow as a team. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we're doing really well. We're really passing the ball and participating as a team, taking it a quarter at a time.
Yeah, you guys underneath Cammie, you're getting the ball out to your quick guards. You got Addie and Ava, and you're just getting the ball down. Is that on purpose? Are you guys trying to do that?
Yeah, we're trying to run the floor as much as possible this year to get passes ahead and hopefully layups.
Yeah, when you got some Greyhounds, that's exactly what you want to do, right? So, got a couple tough games. This is Wednesday night, so we're seeing this on Monday night. So, by the time this airs, we'll play Yorktown, and then tomorrow night, following night, we'll have East Central. It'll be a tough match. So, what do we think about those matches coming up, Cameron?
They're going to be pretty hard matches, pretty good competition, but I think we're ready for it.
All right. You guys ready for Christmas vacation? That's what I want to know.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a no-brainer, right? Kind of a dumb question. All right, ladies. Well, thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll probably talk to you again. All right. Again, the Lady Knights defeat the Tigers 57-14, so we'll go back to you guys in the studio.
And then we went into the locker room, and we played some music, and we talked about how we could improve from last game and, the game before, and just come out and get a win.
I love that. I know you guys were so in tune today, and I love that. And I also was going to talk about you got to play with your sister Cam. So, how does that? Tell me a little bit about how that feels, and if you enjoy playing with her.
Well, obviously she gets on my nerves sometimes, but it's just really easy to play with her because I've grown up with her, and that connection is just there. And I think it just tunes in to what we're doing on the court.
Well, good luck, Addie, for the rest of the season. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and I'll tell you, Kircher has got a sense of humor.
She's only a freshman,
and I'm going to enjoy that for another 3 and a half years.
I mean, really, I'll say this about Addie, and as we interview her, she is already a seasoned pro at this. I mean, she came ready to roll as far as us. So, and plus she's playing great basketball
absolutely.
too. She's really ingrained herself into the team, I think. And she's only a freshman. Okay, so she's young, but she's really, along with her other teammates, the best way I can describe it, playing great team basketball. So.
Well, Rick, tomorrow night
they got a tough one.
If you see a big giant horse parked out here, that's because we're playing the Trojans of East Central tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's
they might sneak in through that Trojan horse.
I don't think they'll sneak through the door though. We'll see them coming through the door.
So that's going to be a big test for the Knights.
It will be. It'll be a great test. All right, you relish these opportunities. They're a 4A school, and they're a good team. You want to play these games. All it can do is make you better.
And again, we'll have the game on tomorrow night, but we'd really, really love to see you in the gym.
Pack the house.
Pack the house, make some noise, have a good time. It's a lot of fun to come to the games.
Yeah.
And
you can watch the broadcast later on. It's always on after the game. You can watch it anytime you want. Get in the gym tomorrow night. Come support the girls. 6 o'clock JV. And the varsity will fall. So come on into the gym. Come support these Lady Knights. I think, and I can say this with confidence now, they're going to be a good team.
Yes.
Okay? They're heading in the right direction. The coaching staff's got them going in the right direction. So come on to the gym. All right, Jerry, you and I are going to take a couple of weeks off. We need to rest out.
Oh, I tell you.
We do have a cheerleading announcement, though.
Oh, yes, that's right. So the cheerleaders are trying to raise money for new mats. and so they're just a little bit short. So, Two Old Guys Productions, Knightline, and the Knights Broadcasting Network. If you know a cheerleader, tell them they got to find Rick or myself and say, we want that $100, and we'll give them $100 toward that those mats.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's not going to cover it all, but it's $100.
it's $100 less you got to look for.
Yeah, you got to. So we'll do that, and you know, well deserved for the ladies.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll have to transfer that after you find us and say that.
If you're at the game tomorrow
Yeah.
night, come on up and see us.
Yeah.
Come up to the booth, and you'll get your $100. My guess is, Jerry, they'll probably get it anyways. But
Yeah.
let's
Well, we got to make a game out of it.
Yeah, make a game out of it. So, and if you have the inkling, donate. You know, $50, $100, just something to get. They're almost at their goal. So donate to them. Knights Nation, you guys are generous. We've seen that in the past.
Absolutely.
And so another need has arisen here. The cheerleaders need you. So go on and donate to their cause. See a cheerleader. Go to their Facebook page. Plenty of ways to give. You can give online. Go do that. So I think, Jerry, it's Merry Christmas time. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. For Two Old Guys Productions and Knightline Live, the Knights Broadcasting Network, Rick Fletcher, and myself, and our families, we want to wish the Knight Nation a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And say night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
It's been another good night.